All right, we are officially moving on to our next unit. This is going to start the third 6 weeks, but we're starting a little bit early because we have a lot to get to. All right, so we're doing factoring. You might remember this hopefully from Algebra 1. We're going to be factoring trinomials. All right, and the first thing I want to make note at the top, there's a little note. It says to factor a trinomial of the form x squared plus bx plus c, you must find two integers that add to b, all right, add to b and multiply to a times c. All right, and the way that works is, as we look here, we just did this in the last unit. We labeled this A, this is B, and this is C. All right, so we need to find two integers that add to B and then multiply to get the answer of A times C. So whatever A times C is, you multiply that, and that's what the two integers should multiply to as well. All right, so remember, add to B and multiply to AC. We scroll down, we look at number 1. We have x squared plus 9x plus 20. All right, and we know it's going to be two parentheses. There are many ways to factor. All right, the way I like to do it, especially when A is equal to 1, and by A I mean this right here, that's always equal to 1, is I know right away these two are going to be x. All right, or whatever the letter is. Like number 2 is A, 3 is C, 4 is M. We know that those are going to be x. All right, from here we just need to find what two numbers are going to add up to 9, and when they multiply together is 20. Because A is 1, 1 times 20 is 20. All right, so from here, let's just list what times what gets us 20. 1 times 20. All right, does that get us to 9? Nope. 2 times 10. Does that get us to 20 if we were to add them together? Nope. 3, nope. 4 times 5. Oh, wait, we look, we see 4 times 5 equals 20, and also 4 plus 5 would equal to 9. All right, so we know right away, and with the equation all being plus, it's really easy. X plus 4 and x plus 5, and that is our answer. All right, there are many ways of doing this, but basically you just need to know multiplication. What two numbers can add up to 9 and multiply together to get you 20. All right, so that's how we got 4 plus 5 is 9, and 4 times 5 is 20. All right, so we move on. We go to number 2. Number 2, a squared plus 3a minus 18. This time we see we have a minus. All right, so this time we need to do a little bit more thinking. Okay, but we have our parentheses. We know it's going to be a, and we know it's going to be a, but this time not everything is going to be plus. So we need to do some math and do some thinking. So a, which is 1, 1 times 18, negative 18. So we know a times c is equal to negative 18, and then b is equal to 3. So we need to find two numbers that can be multiplied to equal negative 18, but when added up, they equal to 3. All right, so let's start with negative 18. Negative 1 times 18, nope. Negative 2 times 9, nope. Negative 3 times 6. Oh, we look right there. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18, but then also negative 3 plus 6 is a positive 3, and that's exactly what we want. All right, so A, we know the numbers, the integers that we need are going to be negative 3 and 6. So A minus 3 and A plus 6. All right, and we're done. Now we move on. Oops, there we go. Move on. Down here, number 3, we have c squared minus 11c. Again, note the minus, and then plus 24. All right. So we know again, parentheses, parentheses. All right, c, c. All right, this time we need to find out what two numbers can be multiplied to equal a positive 24, but when added together, they equal negative 11c. All right, now you might be thinking, let's do 12 times 2, but no, that won't work. On this one, we know to get to negative 11c, but then to get to a positive 24, we're going to need to multiply two negative numbers. All right, so again, this is where you can go through all your factors, all your multiplication, and you would figure out nothing positive times negative would equal a positive. So we know we need two negative numbers. So let's do negative 1 times negative 24. Nope. Negative 2 times negative 12. Nope. Negative 3 times negative 8. Oh, there we go. Negative 3 times negative 8 is a positive 24. And then negative 3 plus a negative 8 is negative 11. That's exactly what we need. So we know it's c minus 3 and c minus 8. And that's how we can factor out c squared minus 11c plus 24. Because, as we know, the way to check your work is we just distribute it. Distribute here, distribute there, distribute here, and distribute there. All right, so c times c is c squared. Then c times negative 8c is negative 8c. Then negative 3c times c, negative 3 times c is negative 3c. And then negative 3 times negative 8 is 24. Combine like terms, and you get what the original polynomial was. All right, that's how you check your work. So a lot of this unit is going to be knowing your multiplication tables, knowing what works and what will fit. Okay, just remember, we find two integers that add up to b and multiply a times c, which a is 1 right now, so 1 times 24 is 24. All right, and let's finish up with the last one, and then you're on your own to complete your worksheet. M squared minus 2m minus 63. Again, make our two parentheses. M is going to be here, m is going to be there. We need two numbers that will add up to negative 2. So two numbers that will add up to negative 2. And then two numbers multiplied would equal a times c, which is negative 63. All right, and we know negative 63, there's not a lot of factors for that. We can do 1 times 63, that's not going to equal to negative 2. We can do 2, nope, we can't divide it by 2. We can do 3, that's 3 and 21, but that's not going to equal to 2, 4, so on and so forth. But if we continue on, you finally run into 9 and 7. We know 9 times 7 is 63. All right, and this is where I need you to use your brain, need you to think. If we know it needs to be a negative 2, we know which one are we going to make negative. We're going to make the bigger number negative. We're going to make it negative 9 times 7. Okay, if it was a positive 2, we would make it 9 times negative 7. But because it's a negative 2, because negative 9 plus 7 is a negative 2. That's why I need you to use some common sense and know that. Okay, so we know negative 9 plus 7 is a negative 2. That's what we want. It adds up to b. And then we know negative 9 times 7 will equal to a times c, which is negative 63. So then again, we just fill it in, m minus 9 and m plus 7, and we're done. All right, do the worksheet, turn it in. If you have any questions, let me know. Rewatch this video. I might have stumbled and said the wrong thing, so rewatch it however many times you want. And just remember, you got to use your brain a little bit, know your multiplication tables, find what multiplies to a times c, and then what adds up to b, which is in the middle. Remember, a, b, c. So what adds up to b and multiplies a times c. In this case, we'll learn Later on, we'll learn when A isn't 1, but for these, this whole worksheet, A is 1. So it's really easy. So what adds up to A times C? Or sorry, what multiplies A times C, and then what adds up to B? All right?